One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Wishful report, he pays his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Wow, wow, wow. We're coming in with a fucking bang. Much love, honor, respect to everybody. Let's go, man. So, we got a Motobomb raid. We got a Carney's Ride raid. I think Sick Bastard. Man, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Thank you guys for the mega raid from the coffee crew. That's the way to put it right there. All right, so we've got a lot of things going on that has happened in the last 23 hours. And of course, what do we do here best? We highlight everything that happened in the last 23 hours in 1 hour. All right, so as you guys see, I have Trump and Netanyahu meeting. That did happen yesterday, yes, of course. But that happened at 1 p.m. Eastern, about noon my time. And unfortunately, that's by the time we're already off the show. So we have all of that. We're going to be talking about quite a bit about their meeting today, but we have a lot of other things going on in the media. We have a Venezuelan drug boat strike that just happened yesterday. We have a lot of top stories going on. We have a winter haven, I guess. I don't know what the proper word would be, but winter has definitely come here and dusted a lot of America, man. So winter weather wreaks havoc on Detroit Highway, and there's like a whole bunch of like just people sliding around like crazy. Yeah, a lot of the United States is under snow of some sort right now up there, especially in the north. But nonetheless, Trump on Venezuela explosion, Putin and Iran, that is when he was meeting with Netanyahu in the very front of Mar-a-Lago, essentially. Before they had sat down and done some sort of conference together, they spoke and took questions. And that's, of course, I'm going to highlight that. And then we also, from there, then once they go inside, they go and have lunch again, kind of like what they did with Zelensky. They had lunch, and then they had a conference, and that conference we have for you guys as well. And then we have an update on that whole helicopter, New Jersey. Remember the two different helicopters we reported on yesterday that crashed into each other? I guess we have an update on that. So, second pilot in New Jersey helicopter crash dies, and that's super, super unfortunate, man. I hate to hear that. And then regards to Venezuela, U.S. strikes alleged drug boat in Eastern Pacific, killing 2, and that happened 14 hours ago. It says the U.S. carried out another strike on an alleged drug boat in the Eastern Pacific on Monday, and that they don't really give too many details, but we do have a video of it, though. And then they talk about it even more, so we have 2 different stories on the drug boats. And then January 6th, regarding that, well, actually, it's January 5th with the D.C. pipe bomber. That guy, we have an update on that. D.C. pipe bomb suspect due in court as defense seeks his release. We have heavy snow, pounds Sycus. I don't know if that's how you say it, Sycus. Syracuse. I don't even know how to fucking say that proper name. But nonetheless, Great Lakes, New York, up there, it just people are getting fucked up. So anyways, we have all of the forecasts and all of that as well. Before we get into it, make sure you guys come in and hit that like button. I very much appreciate your guys' contribution in that regard, as well as hitting that subscribe button because it's also free. If you're on the vertical side, make sure you double tap the screen though. But please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to keep these lights on as well as be on these airwaves. So I very much appreciate you guys becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, the campaign trail. I mean, shit, we do it all over there. Make sure you guys message and follow me over there. We also have a Discord server for all of you legends. We have Naomi will throw a Discord link invite for the chat. Make sure you guys join up on that. We have the majority of you guys in the Insane Wheels family, but we need to have 100%. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the stream. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, well, we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to, and of course, intervene and let me know what you guys think. Right? You know, it's a great way to get your voice heard. So I have my email up. If anything comes through our way, we will go ahead and read that out loud. All right, good morning to all you legends, man. We got a ton of you legends in here. We got Vanguard Ratchet in the building. We got Tootie Bug. We got Naomi, as well as Carney's Ride. Thank you so much for the raid, by the way. Yes, sir. We got Frank in the building. And yes, that is Lucy right there. We got Motobomb as well. My man coming in with the raid, as well as Sick Bastard. You guys are fucking awesome, man. We got Big Dan as well. Good morning, good morning. Let's see here. We got Rabbit of Chaos as well. Good morning to you. We got Gary as well. Quick Shoe. Yes, sir. We got Bill Stacks in the building as well. Brother So Loud from the Boondocks in North Carolina. Always appreciate you. We got my brother Junkyard. Always appreciate you as well. And Poncho. Thank you guys so much. All right, we're going to get right into this. I can't say hi to everybody. I super apologize on that. But we do have a lot to get through. We got it. And Trump, when Trump speaks, he speaks for a long time. So I'm trying to consolidate everything into a single hour. So let's do this.
We are following some breaking news out of Detroit, Michigan. Take a look at this. This is a live look at one of those traffic cameras as a crash along I-75 in Detroit has involved dozens of cars. This is a live look from one of those traffic cameras, and you can see I-75 now at a standstill with some of these cars horizontal slipping and sliding on
they're
the
actually
ice and the snow right there.
These guys are all just sliding down the highway. They're just sliding.
They're just really giving you that live picture.
Oh, no. They're trying. Okay, I see what they're doing. They're trying to drive off because these guys all fucking skidded out of control over here. I see what's happening. And these guys are U-turning off and where you get onto the freeway, they're actually exiting.
Of the treacherous conditions that folks in Detroit and millions across the United States are dealing with right now. So,
yo, real quick, we got Liquored Up with Poncho coming in with the 9 months of membership saying, let's get it. Yes, sir. Thank you for that. My man, I very much appreciate that. We got Josh Phillips in the building on the Facebook side. Good morning to you. Great to see you. We got Mountain Woman as well and Papa Penguin. Good morning. Good morning. We got Tiffany as well. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys hit that like button and double tap the screen on the way in. Thank you, guys.
Traffic at a standstill in Detroit along I-75. A little bit more information from our Fox 2 Detroit team saying that snow squall conditions led to this large crash scene involving 3 semi-trucks and about 24 vehicles on I-75 in Detroit. Really just moments ago, that crash scene being reported on the northbound side of the freeway after McNichols, if you are familiar with that area. According to state police, several small crashes could have been the factor rather than one large pileup. And while the exact number of vehicles is still unclear, take a look at that live image from the...
Yeah, so these guys essentially ended up... Look, it looks like they crashed right here. There's like a pileup of cars right here. And I saw a tow truck loading some sort of car over here on the bottom left and then driving off. So they probably skidded out of control right here and slid down this way as well. And but they say dozens were involved in this car, dozens of cars are involved in crashing together.
Traffic camera, as it looks like some of these vehicles are now trying to navigate around the crash scene and go through the median. It's just a mess right here. So we did want to share this with you. We are getting new information. This is from Fox 2 Detroit saying, according to MDOT, the left shoulder, left lane, right center lane, and right shoulder are blocked. And yep.
Wow. So they are all blocked. So this is a huge crash. They just confirmed up here. This is like a major crash. So they did confirm
a live
that.
Look at this scene right here. Northbound I-75.
Fuck that, Tootie, huh?
Those lanes are blocked and that freeway is closed. So we can see vehicles, cars trying to navigate.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. But nonetheless, at least you guys see it is fucked out there right now. But we're going to move on from weather. We have a lot of world news, geopolitics, and American news to get to. Speaking of American news, we got Trump that, takes some questions with Netanyahu when they greeted over there in Mar-a-Lago yesterday. Let's go ahead and check that out. What's up, Steve Posey? My man, good morning.
Does anybody recognize this man? Not too many people.
Not too many people can.
Actually.
Not too many people can recognize this man.
Bruh. For last 3 days.
President Trump, are you going to have a
Pablo.
second round?
Okay, they're already asking about Iran. So you see, even Trump, he's like, here we go, bro.
Mr. President, how quickly should folks move to phase 2 of the peace plan?
What's up, Sessa? Good morning. Great to see you in the chat, bro.
As quickly as we can. But there has to be a disarmament, that we have to disarm with Hamas. So one of the things we'll talk about, certainly, but there has to be a disarming of Hamas. So, otherwise, very quickly, yeah.
Can you say anything more about the explosion in Venezuela that you mentioned in the video interview? Did the military do that? Can you share with me?
Well, it doesn't matter, but there was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys just caught that. That's a big deal, what was just said. Okay, so they're asking about Venezuela, and there was a dock that apparently we struck. There was an explosion, quote unquote. And you got to remember, on the dock means on Venezuelan land, right? It's one thing when we're doing this in international waters, but it's also one thing when we start making escalations in their actual soil, right? So anyways, let me back that up a little bit here so you guys can catch that.
You mentioned in the video interview. Did the military do that? Can you share with me?
Well, it doesn't matter, but
said, did the military do that? Who did the strike there? And so
there was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs. They load the boats up with drugs. So we hit all the boats, and now we hit the area. It's the implementation area. That's where they implement, and that is no longer around.
Is that the only strike that the U.S. has done?
I don't want to.
you said that's no longer around. Holy shit. Hold on.
And that is no longer around.
Is that the only strike that the U.S. has done?
I don't want to comment.
They asked right there when he said, I don't want to comment on that. He said, is that the first strike on Venezuelan land? And he says, I don't want to comment on that. Shit. Holy shit.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
In the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs. They load the boats up with drugs. So we hit all the boats, and now we hit the area. It's the implementation area. That's where they implement, and that is no longer around.
Is that the only strike that the U.S. has done?
I don't want to comment.
President Trump,
yesterday there was an explosion overnight in the Russian state of Ukraine, trying to hit the residence of President Putin. Do you have any information?
No, I don't know about it, actually, and I don't, I just heard about it, actually, but I don't know about it.
Did you speak with
That would be too bad. That would not be good.
What was the outcome of your telephone call with President Putin this
I had a
morning?
very good talk.
That's right, Joseph. My man up there in Canada, our favorite snow Mexican, he says the price of silver goes up again, no cap.
Stop the cap.
But you're not capping. Yes, sir, that's right. Silver has almost made a full recovery in a single day.
This morning, I waited till this morning because it was pretty late by the time we finished, like 2:30 in Russia, 2:30 in the morning, and we had a very good talk. We spoke at 8 o'clock in the morning, our time.
So, extra
And it was a
surprise.
very productive talk. I mean, we have a few very thorny issues, as you can imagine. He knows about thorny issues probably better than anybody in the world, but it's working out. We have a couple of issues that we're going to get resolved, hopefully, and if we get them resolved, you're going to have peace. You're going to have Ukraine losing 26,000 soldiers a month. Can you believe it? A month, 26,000 young, beautiful soldiers, and plus some people in Kiev, and relatively small, but a lot, still people, and it's a lot of people. But 26,000 soldiers.
What's up, SNS? And he says, hit that like button, y'all. Yes, we have 154 of you guys in here. Make sure you guys double tap that screen on the vertical side and hit that like button on the horizontal. Thank you, guys. You guys don't have to like all the craziness around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here. So thank you, guys.
Soldiers were killed last month. Yes, please.
President Trump, are you going to allow Turkish forces, or do you expect Turkish forces to be stationed in Gaza?
So I have a great relationship with President Erdogan, and we'll be talking about it. And if it's good, I think that's good. And a lot will be having to do with Bibi. We're going to be talking about that. But Turkey's been great, and he's been, excellent as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about you. To me, he's been very good.
Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Prime Minister Netanyahu and how important it is for you to see him be pardoned by the Israeli president?
Look, he's a wartime prime minister. He's done a phenomenal job. He's taken Israel through a very dangerous period of trauma. Israel with other people might not exist right now, if you want to know the truth. That's a pretty big statement, but it's true. I feel that. You had the wrong prime minister, Israel right now would not exist, because they were met with a force the likes of which very few countries could have handled, and we worked together, and we were extremely victorious, to put it mildly. Now I hear that Iran is trying to build up again, and if they are, we're going to have to knock them down. We'll knock them down. We'll knock that.
Shit, anytime Iran gets up, we're going to be knocking them down, he says. Shit. Real quick, Joseph does make a good point. Time for the money part. Send money me a lot now. That is true, bro.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Shit.
Denied. Hell out of them, but hopefully that's not happening. I heard Iran wants to make a deal. If they want to make a deal, that's much smarter. They could have made a deal the last time before we went through, a big attack on them, and they decided not to make the deal. They wish they made that deal. So I think, again, they should make a deal. They want to make a deal, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Yeah, please.
Hold on, before that guy asks a question, we got my man, King Adam, coming in the building with the $5, man. Let's go. Shit. I appreciate that, kind sir, very much. That shit adds up very quickly. Thank you for that.
Would you support the overthrow of the Iranian regime?
Who?
Iranian regime.
I'm not going to talk about overthrow of a regime. They've got a lot of problems that are in. They have tremendous inflation. Their economy is bust. Their economy is no good. And I know that people aren't so happy, but don't forget, every time they have a riot or somebody forms a group, little or big, they start shooting people. They kill people. And the people tend to... I've watched this for years. There's tremendous discontent. They form 100,000, 200,000 people. All of a sudden, people start getting shot. And that group disbands pretty quickly. So I've watched it for years. They're vicious people, yeah.
Mr. President, will you support an attack, Israeli attack on Iran if Iran will not have a deal? If Iran will continue with their ballistic missiles and also nuclear weapons?
If they will continue with the missiles, yes. The nuclear, fast. Okay. One will be yes, absolutely. The other was, we'll do it immediately.
Mr. President, the honor from Channel 12 News. What are your plans regarding Gaza for the next few weeks?
Well, we're going to be dealing on Gaza. That's why this very great prime minister is here right now. We're talking about Gaza. We're talking about a lot of things. We have about 5 major subjects that we're discussing, and Gaza will be one of those subjects.
Mr. President, can you guarantee that the last hostages on Philly will be released before we continue?
Yo, real quick, we got my man, Two Wheel Jesus, throwing down a buck. I very much appreciate that. Thank you for the $1, kind sir.
In the second phase of the Gaza plan.
Well, let's put it this way. Every hostage just about that's been released was released because of me, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, my whole team, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth. They were all released because of us. None were released in the Biden administration. None. They were all released because of us. Then we had a lack of releases with respect to the dead. And all of a sudden they started coming back because I said, nope, you said you were going to. We have one wonderful young man whose parents are right now inside. And he's what beautiful parents, a beautiful brother, sister. and like a beautiful family, and they're waiting for their son. It's the only one left, and we're doing everything we can to get his body back. And the parents just said, hopefully he's alive. And I said, I'd love you to think that way. Okay?
President Trump,
Everything we can.
do you have President Trump?
Out of all of these people, and I'm not just talking about the final 20.
Right.
Look at all of the people. What do you think the total number is?
255.
255.
254 came out, one more.
Think of that. And we got them all.
President Trump, President Trump, does the reconstruction of Gaza, President Trump, does the reconstruction of Gaza, does the reconstruction of Gaza will begin even before Hamas is disarmed?
I think it's going to begin pretty soon, yeah.
Before
He's looking forward to it, so am I. Look, what a mess. What a mess it is. And it's been a mess for centuries, really. It's been a mess for a long time. It's seems to be born for that, but we're gonna straighten it out. No, we're already starting certain things. We're doing things for sanitary conditions and others. But Gaza's a tough place. You know the expression, it's a tough neighborhood. That's truly a tough neighborhood. Yeah, you had a question in the back? Go ahead. Yeah, please, go ahead.
I'll ask you about the relationship between you and the Prime Minister.
What about it?
They said that there is no relationship, good relationship between you.
I don't think it can be better. We just won a big war together. You know, if we didn't beat Iran, you wouldn't have had peace in the Middle East because nobody would have been able, the Arab countries who have been fantastic would not have been able to make a deal. If we didn't wipe out their nuclear, we wiped it out. If we didn't wipe out with our beautiful B-2 bombers, if we didn't, and we sent a lot of Tomahawks in there also, by the way, from a submarine.
What about the
Good morning, Prez. Good morning, and great to see you in the chat.
the president of Israel needs to give the Prime Minister?
Pardon? Oh, I think he will. How do you not? He's a wartime prime minister who's a hero. How do you not give a pardon? You know, I think it's a very hard thing not to do it. I spoke to the president, and it's on. I mean, he tells me it's on its way.
Mr. President,
You can't do better than that, right? Please.
Can I follow up on Venezuela? Was the facility taken out by the U.S. military, or was it another entity like the CIA?
Well, I don't want to say that. I know exactly who it was, but I don't want to say who it was. But you know, it was along the shore.
Mr. President, have you or anyone in your administration talked to Maduro in recent days?
Well, I spoke to him.
Recently?
Pretty recent. Reasonably, but nothing much comes of it, yeah.
Mr. President, can you explain the importance?
You have to understand what he's done. They've sent billions of dollars of drugs in. But maybe just as bad, they've sent hundreds of thousands of people in from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions and insane asylums. The drug lords, the drug dealers were all sent into our country. But think of it, what he's done. Tren de Aragua, probably the worst gang. They cut off people's fingers. One man made a phone call to complain about them. He cut off their hand. They cut off his hand. Don't ever make a phone call again. We'll cut off your hand. After that, we'll kill you, they said. That was in Colorado. They sent in all of the bad ones. They sent in some bad people. And that to me was just terrible. And they sent in drugs. Now, I will say this. 97% of the drugs coming in by sea stopped. We're trying to figure out who the other 3% are. They have a hard time getting people to pilot those boats. But 97% of the drugs coming in by the ocean, by the sea, by water, are gone. Every boat that we take out, we save 25,000 lives of Americans. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you. We're going to have a big meeting, and we'll see you in a couple of hours if you
What's up, Orland? Good morning.
like. And if you'd like, you can come up and have lunch like you did yesterday. Would you like that or not? Do you want that? Because some of them think it's terrible. It's a bribe. But, you know, a bribe for $25, I don't know. If you'd like, you can go. And if you don't, you can stand in a driveway and melt. All right? But if you want, will you work on that, Margot? Is Margot doing a good job? She's a star. She's too nice. Her only problem, she's too nice to you. And you're not nice to us, but that's okay. Margot, take them up and have a beautiful lunch, and we'll see you later.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah, I don't like it. It's not good. I heard about it this morning. You know who told me about it? President Putin told me about it. Early in the morning, he said he was attacked. It's no good. It's no good. Don't forget, you know, the Tomahawks. I stopped the Tomahawks. I didn't want that. Because we're talking about, you know, it's a delicate period of time. This is not the right time. It's one thing to be offensive, because they're offensive. It's another thing to attack his house. It's not the right time to do any of that.
It's talking about Putin. Allegedly, Putin's house was like attacked yesterday.
And can't do it. And I learned about it from President Putin today. I was very angry about it. What? Well, it came out. Well, we'll find out. I mean, you're saying maybe the attack didn't take place. It's possible too, I guess. But President Putin told me this morning it did.
One question, Mr. President. Can you expound on the importance of a strong relationship with the state of Israel? And Mr. Prime Minister, you call President Trump the strongest friend for the state of Israel. You work with numerous administrations, numerous presidents. Can you expound on that? What makes President Trump such a strong friend of the state of Israel?
Why don't you go first?
I'll say it again and again and again. We've never had a friend like President Trump in the White House. It's not even close. And I think you can judge that by not merely
Oh my God.
Oh my God! By the frequency of our meetings, but by the content and the intensity. I think Israel is very blessed to have President Trump leading the United States, and I'll say it, leading the free world at this time. I think it's not merely Israel's great fortune. I think it's the world's great fortune.
Well, I just want to say that it's very important who the Prime Minister and President of Israel is. We have a great relationship. It was an honor to speak before your leaders. That was a great honor for me, I think.
Brother Steve Easy in the chat. My man, good morning.
It has not happened before, or something they told me. But the relationship's been extraordinary, and Bibi's a strong man. He can be very difficult on occasion, but you need a strong man. If you had a weak man, you wouldn't have Israel right now. Israel would have been, Israel...
Anna Grilopis, good morning.
With most other leaders would not exist today. They would not exist. And now they're stronger than ever. Yeah, please.
Are you going to ask Netanyahu to sign an agreement with Syria?
Well, I hope he's going to get along with Syria, because the new president of Syria is working very hard to do a good job. He really is. I know he's a tough cookie, and he's...
What's up, Seymour? Good morning.
You're not going to get a choir boy to lead Syria. That's the one thing I would say. So I hope they're going to get along, because, I dropped the sanctions on Syria because otherwise they wouldn't have had a chance. We want to see Syria survive. So we're going to be talking about Syria too. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good time. Go have a good lunch.
Prime Minister Netanyahu, there's a lot of steps regarding...
After you hear these things, I think better to quit now. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and that's the end of that. Now they go in and they go have some sort of like lunch together. They have a sit down with the cabinet and all that, and then just like how it was with Zelensky and the European leaders yesterday. Anyways, after that, they have a press conference together, a legitimate one, like not them just answering questions or whatever. All right, let's go ahead and see.
Listen in a little bit later on this news conference. I want to take you out to Mar-a-Lago. President Trump remarks with Netanyahu.
We had a big meeting with a lot of people, a lot of talent from Israel and from the U.S., and I think we came to a lot of conclusion and conclusions, and there's very little difference in what we're looking at and where we want to be, where we want to go.
Just so you know, the audio is weird on their side. Just so you know, just is what it is.
And so I just want to thank you for spending time. I know you're going to be over here for a couple of days, and maybe we'll be surprising us on New Year's Eve. That'll be fine.
Oh, thank you.
What's up, Bob, up there in Canada? Good morning.
And it's wonderful seeing you and Sarah and your whole group. Very talented group. We've done very good work together, and it'll continue. So thank you very much, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. I have to say that in addition to what I said, that we've never had a friend, even close, a friend, as President Trump in the White House. I think he's been extraordinary in his friendship and his support for Israel, his principled positions, his willingness to just cut through to get to the essence of things. And I don't say that as a compliment. I just mean it. People have heard me say that behind your back, Mr. President, many times. But I want to say something else. I think we have a partnership, if I can quote you, second to none. I think it's allowed us to do enormous things. People said there was a different conception at one time, which means that America can advance its interest in the Middle East if it opens a lot of daylight between it and Israel. And President Trump has done the exact opposite. He's achieved remarkable things in the Middle East because we work together. We talk about our ideas. Sometimes we have different ideas, but we work it out. And most of the time we see eye to eye. But it's been a remarkable experience, and this was a very, very productive meeting. And may I say, a very good lunch. Thank you. Thank you for your friendship.
Thank you very much, baby.
And thank you for your support. It's meant from the heart.
Thank you. As I said outside, he's been a wartime prime minister, and we were, well, I guess I could say I was a wartime president in more places than just Israel, if you think about it. But Israel was a big factor, and we're with you. and we'll continue to be with you. And a lot of good things are happening in the Middle East. We have peace in the Middle East, and we're going to try and keep it that way. I think we will be very successful in keeping it that way. And you've been a great friend, and I've been a great friend to you and to Israel. And it's been my honor. And the award that I was given was really surprising and very much appreciated.
Well, President Trump has broken so many conventions to the surprise of people, and then they figure out, oh, well, maybe, he was right after all. So we decided to break a convention too, or create a new one, and that is to award the Israel Prize, which in almost our 80 years, we've never awarded it to a non-Israeli, and we're going to award it this year to President Trump. This was announced formally over lunch by our Minister of Education, who's responsible for the Israel Prize. It's going to be awarded to President Donald J. Trump for his tremendous contributions to Israel and the Jewish people. I think it's such a fitting thing, and it would honor us, obviously, Mr. President, if you could visit Israel in that occasion on our Independence Day. But I have to say that this reflects the
What's up, Brother Slim? Good morning. Great to see you.
Overwhelming sentiment of Israelis across the spectrum. They appreciate what you've done to help Israel and to help our common battle against the terrorists and those who would destroy our civilization. So, again, that's an expression of thanks and appreciation.
Thank you, baby, very much. That really is a great honor. Any questions, please? We'll go pretty quickly because pretty much we agree on most of the things, and you would know what most of those things are. Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to know if you and the Prime Minister talked about having Israel pull back its troops before Hamas fully disarms. I know that's been an issue. Did you push for that today?
Well, we talked about Hamas and we talked about disarmament, and they're going to be given a very short period of time to disarm, and we'll see how that works out. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be in charge of that from our side, but if they don't disarm, as they agreed to do, they agreed to it, and then they'll be held to pay for them. And we don't want that. We're not looking for that. But they have to disarm within a fairly short period of time.
Was Israel withdrawing its forces?
Well, that's a separate subject. We'll talk about that.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. President, did you have a message for the Prime Minister about the West Bank? And are you at all concerned that settler violence, Israeli settler violence, could be undermining the peace plan?
Well, we have had a big discussion for a long time on the West Bank, and I wouldn't say we agree on the West Bank 100%, but we will come to a conclusion on the West Bank.
If I could ask, what is the disagreement?
Well, I don't want to do that. It'll be announced at an appropriate time. But he will do the right thing. I know that. I know him very well. He will do the right thing. Yes?
There is a growing fear of a confrontation between Israel and Turkey. How are you going to ease this tension given the fact that President Erdogan calls Mr. Netanyahu Hitler and compares Israel to the Nazis?
Well, I know President Erdogan very well. And as you
Yo, Hans, will you relax? I'm Mike. Fucking idiot.
all know, he's a very good friend of mine. And I believe that, and I do respect him, and Bibi respects him, and they're not going to have a problem. They're not going to have a problem. I know him very well. And you've seen me do things with President Erdogan and Turkey that nobody else could have done. We're not going to have a problem. He's done a fantastic job. I'm with him all the way. I'm with Bibi all the way. Nothing's going to happen. Yes.
Mr. President, are you concerned that Israel is not moving quickly enough to phase 2 of the peace plan?
Well, I'm not concerned about anything that Israel's doing. I'm concerned about what other people are doing or maybe aren't doing. But I'm not concerned. They've lived up to the plan. They're strong. They're solid. And sometimes they don't understand what's...
No, I am not Jewish. Jesus Christ. You guys in the chat are fucking retards sometimes.
Somebody violates something that you want to give them a second chance. Well, we'll give them a couple of second chances. But no, Israel's lived up to the plan 100%. Don't forget, we made the plan possible by taking out Iran. And speaking of Iran, I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but...
I don't blame you, Steve Easy. We'll see you on the flip side.
Very quickly to eradicate that buildup. So I hope Iran is not trying to build up, as I've been reading, that they're building up weapons and other things. And if they are, they're not using the sites that we obliterated, but they're using possibly different sites. We know exactly where they're going, what they're doing. And I hope they're not doing it because we don't want to waste the fuel on a B-2. It's a 37-hour trip both ways. I don't want to waste a lot of fuel. Okay?
Mr. President Trump, just after your last remarks regarding the pardon request of Prime Minister Netanyahu, Herzog office told us that you have not talked after the official request of Prime Minister Netanyahu pardon. Can you clarify to us? Did you talk
about it? Which request are you talking about?
With the President Herzog, the Israeli President Herzog. Did you talk with him directly?
President Erdogan?
Herzog. The Israeli
so you're
President
talking about pardon?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got to say that. No, I think...
Before he answers this, I always say, just embrace your fuck-ups. You know what I mean? Just embrace them. Fucking where
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck-ups when you have tomorrow's fuck-ups to look forward to? You are a fuck-up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Shit.
He's going to be in great shape. He's a wartime prime minister at the highest level. He's achieved tremendous success. And I'll say it, if you had 8 out of 10 prime ministers in his position right now, or before right now, maybe, you wouldn't have Israel any longer. Israel would not exist. I'd say two of them would, and 8 of them wouldn't. Those are not good odds. You needed a very special man to really carry through and really help Israel through this horrible jam. These are major factions, and it started with our negotiation with Iran. I think it probably started with Soleimani. That was really where you mentioned that today. It started with Soleimani. Bad guy, doing bad things, hurting a lot of people, killing American soldiers and other soldiers. But it started right there, would probably be the starting point. And then from that point forward, but you have a wartime prime minister at the highest level. There could be other wartime prime ministers, but they'd lose. He won. And I think the people of Israel appreciate it. I think a lot of the people in the world appreciate it, actually. And because of that victory, we were able to get peace in the Middle East. If you had a different kind of a personality, if you had a weak person or a stupid person, and there are plenty of both of them, you would not have had success, and you might not have Israel. And you report for Israel. I know you're very proud of it, and you do a great job. You might not have a job because there might not be an Israel right now if you had a different prime minister. That's a big statement, but to me, it's a very simple statement to make. I'm looking at Pete Hegseth, and he's sort of nodding. If they don't have a strong prime minister, Pete, you might not have Israel today. I think he'll go down in the record books. And, I was a big help. I'll be honest with you, big help. Somebody said in the room, if you don't have Trump, you needed a proper combination of everything. And if you didn't have that combination, which they had, you would not have an existing Israel right now. And the people of Israel know it. That's why they like...
Oh, my God. Get it over with.
Bruh. Like me, and it's why they actually like him. He's got a little bit of a love-hate more than I do over there. But you know what? Even the haters have a lot of respect for him. There's a lot of jealousy about him. A lot of jealousy. Jealousy is a bad word. But I believe you would not have Israel right now, so it's a big deal. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, a recent poll showed that as half of Gazans would be willing to leave the Gaza Strip if afforded the opportunity to do so. Back in February, you said that all Gazans should be...
I heard that number today, half of Gaza would leave. I've always said it. I said if they were given the opportunity to live in a better climate, they would move. They're there because they sort of have to be. I think it would be a great opportunity, but let's see if that opportunity presents itself. But we're helping the people of Gaza a lot. So is Israel, by the way. So we'll see what happens. But I saw that there was a poll. It was actually more than half the people would leave if they were given the opportunity. And I've been saying that for a long time. To me, it was common sense. So it's interesting.
Why wouldn't countries accept them?
Look, let's not talk about it because we don't want the controversy. Right now, we're helping Gaza. But if they were given the opportunity, I think even higher than that, the group that did the poll is usually, I call them negative pollsters. You have a lot of them. And yet this poll was, I think, very accurate, other than it would be more than half the people if given the opportunity, but they haven't been given that opportunity. So we'll see what happens.
Mr. President, have you reached a point of understanding regarding Syria?
We do have an understanding regarding Syria. Now, with Syria, your new president, I respect him. He's a very strong guy, and that's what you need in Syria. You can't put a choir boy. You can't put somebody that's a perfect person. Everything's nice. No problems in life. You have the opposite there. He's a strong guy. We get along with him great. I can't ask for any more. He's been with us all the way. We had that mishap with ISIS, and he was with us all the way. He was fighting us. He was fighting them. So I hope Israel, I'm sure that Israel and him will get along. I will try and make it so that they do get along. I think they will. Maybe do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, well,
I'm going to let this be the wrap up here because they go on for another fucking 15 minutes, and I'm not willing.
Our interest is to have a peaceful border with Syria. Our interest is to have, and we openly say it, we want to make sure that the border area right next to our border is safe. We don't have terrorists, we don't have attacks, and we also want to secure our Druze friends. And by the way, I think not only the Jews, but other minorities, especially the Christians, should be.
What's up, Charles Darwin over there in frickin' Australia? My man, good to see you.
Protected
Good morning.
as well in Syria and throughout the Middle East and in Nigeria. In your efforts, we back completely because Christian communities are beleaguered around the world and especially in the Middle East, but in parts of Africa too. And we stand for the same thing.
And don't forget, it was President Erdogan that helped very much get rid of a very bad ruler of Syria. That was President Erdogan. And he never wanted the credit for it, but he really gets a lot of credit. Bibi agrees with that. I agree with. I mean, I know it. And President Erdogan should get a lot of good credit for what he did. He got rid of.
What's up, Kerry over there? Rob's neighbor, my man. Good morning.
Some very bad people, and they've been wanting to do that for 1,000 years with different names, but for 1,000 years in Syria, President Erdogan did it, and we give him a lot of credit. I give him a lot of credit, but I think it's going to work out well between Syria and Israel.
Mr. President, about Lebanon.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
The Lebanese government, so what we saw, is not meeting the terms of the ceasefire agreement, has failed to disarm Hezbollah, actually. In your view, should Israel strike the terrorist organization again?
Well, we're going to see about that. We'll see about it. The Lebanese government is at a little bit of a disadvantage, if you think of it, with Hezbollah. But Hezbollah has been behaving badly, so we'll see what happens.
Mr. President,
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. We're going to move on. We got too much other things going on in the world that we can't just completely focus on that. We're going to hone in a little bit here at home, here in the United States, real quick. We have an update regarding the two helicopters that unfortunately crashed over there in New Jersey. And it's originally the one guy survived and was in the hospital, and one guy unfortunately died. And now there's the update that the second pilot in the New Jersey helicopter crash has now died, which is very, very unfortunate. Let's go ahead and bring this up, and we follow these stories, man. That's what we do.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Shauna Kalafi. I'll be here with you for the next few hours, taking over for Mike Page. We do have an update on some breaking news we brought you yesterday. The two helicopters that collided mid-air in New Jersey. We have this from Fox News.
Yes, double tap the screen. We've got 340 of you guys in here right now. Make sure you hit the like button on the horizontal side. Very much appreciate you guys. You don't have to like all the craziness in the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here. So thank you guys.
Says tragic update. 2 pilots are now dead after 2 helicopters collided mid-air and crash landed in New Jersey on Sunday morning. Police said 65-year-old pilot Kenneth Kirsch, who was airlifted to a hospital, has died from his injuries. 71-year-old pilot Michael Greenberg was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, Fox 29 Philly is at that crash site right now. Let's check in with Greg Payne, who's live there now with this update. Greg.
Real quick, I got to give a special shout out to my man Straight Jacket right there in the building, as well as J.R. Bowling, by the way, soon to be Alabama's next state senator right here, as you guys can see it. Well, for you guys on the vertical side, it's kind of fucked up. You can see the other sign that's over there, I guess, but over here on the horizontal, you guys can see it, Alabama State Senate District 4. Yes, sir. Great to see you.
Yeah, well, good evening. Yes, I mean, it's been pretty, steady here at the scene. You haven't seen that much traffic in regards to the NTSB or the FAA, but you can see, though, off in the distance, there is one police vehicle that is there. Right next to that area, you can see some lights. In that vicinity is where you have the 2 helicopters that are located here. Now, both of the pilots are both from South Jersey, and so you can only imagine that this has had a major impact on those here in the South Jersey region.
I'm shocked. I can't believe it.
Luann Thornton of Carney's Point is still trying to wrap her head around the death of her neighbor, 65-year-old Kenneth Kirsch. Hamilton police say just before 11:30 on Sunday morning, Kirsch was involved in a mid-air helicopter collision with another helicopter.
He loved flying, and he did it for years.
This video showing one of the helicopters spinning out of control to the ground. Police say the collision occurring shortly after the 2 helicopters took off from nearby Hamilton Municipal Airport. The other pilot, identified as 71-year-old Michael Greenberg of Sewell, died on scene.
Brutal.
Meanwhile, Kirsch was flown to Cooper Trauma.
So the red guy was the second guy that was somewhat made it to the hospital. The other guy, as you guys can see in this one, look how that turned out. It was just, it exploded on the dude. There's nothing much left, barely even a frame.
Died on scene. Meanwhile, Kirsch was flown to Cooper Trauma Center, where he later died. We're told both pilots were friends.
I'm going to miss him. I can't believe this.
Luann says Kirsch didn't have kids and was divorced and was an architect who was planning on retiring soon.
Yeah, I guess in a way it's ironic because he died the way he, something he loved. Yeah, but it's just tragic. Yeah, I never expected that to happen to him. Never in a million years.
The NTSB and FAA are now working to determine the cause of the crash.
Yeah, there certainly is a lot involved, and the first thing that they want to look at is the scene of the accident, what information they can get from the evidence about how the aircraft landed. They're going to certainly talk to witnesses.
According to police, some of the witnesses say the helicopters were traveling close
there's an actual video of
each other.
Is that no? That's only a single.
Just before the crash.
Oh wow! So he was by himself or what? I don't understand. They collided together.
Former Navy pilot and aviation attorney John Gagliano says that it's called formation flying, and it's allowed under the FAA regulations.
As long as both pilots consent to the formation and they've briefed the formation, then it's absolutely allowed. It is a very specific skill to fly in formation that takes specialized knowledge and training.
Which experts say the investigation will look into everything from the pilot's experience, their training.
What's up, Red Lipstick? Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far.
And the condition of the aircrafts.
As I mentioned, whether there was a mechanical difficulty on one of the helicopters before the collision occurred, that's certainly something that's relevant and something that the authorities should be looking at.
Now, as to be expected, there is going to be a law enforcement presence that's going to be out here.
Yeah, and by the way, King Adam, I also did report that there is a video out there that was supposedly the crash or whatever, but it was a fake video. And I did announce that yesterday. And I don't think that one was referring to this particular crash. I think he was just talking about when they spiral out of control and they used a reference video, I think, but I don't think that was the actual video. So good catch.
Overnight as they are watching the scene. Now, tomorrow, both helicopters will...
By the way, we have over 300 of you guys in here. Make sure you guys double tap the screen on the vertical side and hit the like button on the horizontal. Thank you guys. I don't ask you guys to send in money or any of that shit. I just ask you guys to do that one laborious work is hitting the like button.
Will be recovered from the accident site and moved to a secure location where they can be further examined. Now, the next planned release of information will be the publication of a preliminary report, and we're expecting that in about 30 days. Shauna?
All right, thank you so much, Greg, for that update from the crash site. Again, we want to show you.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on, though. We have a lot of things to give you guys updates on. So, U.S. strikes alleged drug boat in Eastern Pacific, killing 2. This happened on Monday, which was yesterday. So let's go ahead and bring this up. We have two parts to this, actually.
Now we have some breaking news we want to bring you right now. Another boat strike on an alleged drug boat in the Eastern Pacific Ocean, killing 2 people. We have this from U.S. Southern Command posted on social media just a short while ago.
What's up, Hardwire? Good morning, kind sir.
So it says, on December 29th, at the direction of Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Joint Task Force Southern Sphere conducted a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel operated by designated terrorist organizations in international waters. Intelligence confirmed the vessel was transiting along known narco-trafficking routes in the Eastern Pacific and was engaged in narco-trafficking operations. 2 male narco-terrorists were killed and no U.S. military forces were harmed. And this is the video that was posted along with that announcement today. The U.S. military again conducting another lethal strike against a boat accused of smuggling drugs in the Eastern Pacific Ocean. 2 people killed in that strike. And this brings the total number of known boat strikes to 30 and the total number of people killed now at least 107 since early September. That's according to numbers from the Trump administration. The military said this vessel, again, was engaged in narco-trafficking operations, although it did not provide the evidence of that claim. And again, this video posted on social media just a short while ago. You can see that.
Yeah, Carrie, I definitely have briefly mentioned it. I really didn't go too much into it because everyone already does know about it. So, I mean, I don't just look at hot topics such as the Somali thing in the United States. I mean, Somalis have been a fucking problem in the United States in the 90s, you know? So, but you know what I mean? I'm nonstop looking at the world, not just honing in on hot topics.
Boat moving through water before it's struck by 2 explosions there. President Trump has justified these attacks as a necessary escalation to stem the flow of drugs into the United States. And he's asserted that the U.S. is engaged in, quote, armed conflict with drug cartels. Again, this brings the total number of known boat strikes to 30, total number of people killed in those strikes, at least 107 since early September, according to the Trump administration. We will continue to follow those boat strikes on alleged drug boats.
Shit. All right. So they do have a follow-up update on this. So let's go ahead and bring this up, and we'll go ahead and see if there's anything else here regarding this. And then we're about to get into the D.C. pipe bomber, the whole situation January 5th, the day before January 6th.
Turning our attention now to a developing story, another strike conducted by U.S. military against an alleged drug boat in the Pacific Ocean. We're taking a live look here at a social media post from Reuters. But it was U.S. Southern Command who's announced that they struck another alleged drug boat in the Eastern Pacific, marking at least the 30th strike since September 2nd. U.S. officials also saying that 2 men were killed. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera joining us live now in Washington, D.C. Madeline, what do we know?
Hi, Corral. Well, we know that the U.S. Southern Command posted that video on X showing what appears to be the latest boat strike here and against an alleged drug boat. So like you said, this is now the 30th known strike against these alleged drug boats.
Wow, the 30th.
Since this Operation Southern Spear began on September 2nd, and that 2 men were killed, so more than 100 people have been killed so far in this operation. But it appears that the United States is now taking a different action. So you've got these strikes on alleged drug boats. You've got those seizures of those oil tankers. They're pursuing a third one in the Caribbean. And now the president sharing.
Real quick, what's up, Virgil? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. And we got Gas Mask as well. Good morning. Good morning.
Something last week to a radio station saying that they hit a facility where these ships are coming from. So yesterday, during his news conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the president was pressed about this comment. He was asked about more details. He didn't give too much, but he did say that the U.S. hit a facility where these, or hit a dock specifically, where these drugs are being.
Right, where they were, quote unquote, being loaded onto the boats. Now, when you do these strikes on land, on Venezuelan land, right, that's a little bit of an escalation.
Loaded. We don't know exactly where this dock is and who conducted this operation, what agency specifically, whether it's the CIA or whether it's the U.S. military.
Right, because Trump didn't want to answer that.
We have reached out to the Pentagon and they referred us back to the White House for comment. The CIA, meantime, you'll remember that the president weeks ago had authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations in Venezuela, but we have not heard any confirmation from the agency itself. So still some things that we don't know, but it does mark a major escalation in this pressure campaign against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, whom the administration has accused of running an illegitimate regime. Corral.
Right, and don't get it twisted. This is about regime change and control of resources. So that really is what it boils down to. All right, we're going to move on, though, because we got the D.C. pipe bomber update on this. Let's go ahead and bring this up. And we've been following this story as well. Apparently, he's supposed to appear in court today.
Turning now to a story that we are following very closely. The January 6th pipe bomb suspect due back in court later today. New this morning also, it does appear his attorneys plan to argue for that suspect to be released as court proceedings continue. We're joined live now by Fox 5's Stephanie Ramirez. She is back outside of the district's federal courthouse with more of those details this morning. Stephanie.
Good morning, and we are learning about those details in a motion filed overnight by the suspect's defense attorneys. The suspect in this case is 30-year-old Brian J. Cole Jr. of Woodbridge, Virginia.
Yeah, but Charles, real quick, and yes, I am going to be on next week. Yes, my schedule doesn't change, whether it's holidays or not. But the whole silver thing, it recovered in a single day. I mean, look at what silver prices are right now. It basically recovered in one single day.
Yeah, and in part of their arguing for why they believe their client would not be a danger to the community if released, they are shedding a light here at what they call government-induced excitement around their client's arrest. Now, we'll get to more what they had to say in these documents in just a moment. First, though, Fox 5 did speak with an expert weighing in on the fact that we haven't seen a grand jury indictment yet in this case.
The fact that we don't have a grand jury indictment leads me to believe that we're probably going to get a plea deal. Oftentimes, when you do an early plea, the defense will offer a waiver of indictment. Then the prosecution will file an information.
This guy.
Why are you gay? That will save them from having to go to the grand jury. We know how easy it is to get a grand jury indictment. And that's a little carrot the defense throws the prosecution to let them know that they're acting in good faith and they intend to reach a resolution in this case.
Meantime, we did report just yesterday on a recent DOJ memo revealing that the suspect in this case had given investigators a confession after...
Frank, you are preaching to the choir. I invest every single month. That's what I do every single month. That's what a stacker does. You set aside, whether even it's like $100 or if it's $1,000 a month, whatever the case, whatever you can afford. But yes, that is the proper way to do it.
Waiving his Miranda rights, the DOJ memo quoting him and making comments doubting the 2020 presidential election results and in targeting the country's top political parties because they're in charge. Now, defense attorneys responded demanding copies of any video or audio recordings of this confession. And as part of planning to argue for the suspect's release, defense attorneys also submitted character witness statements. They argue in court documents that the suspect has a mental health history, but no criminal one, and that he didn't hurt anyone. He has a job waiting for him. Attorneys also arguing that their client...
Shit, real quick, we got brother Rob Myers in the chat saying, Mike, I hope you put a bunch of silver away for rainy days to come. Yes, sir. I am way ahead of the game on that aspect. So I appreciate you looking out. But yes, I saw that shit coming. And of course, I got myself in a while ago.
Would submit to court monitoring as investigators.
And this is the DC pipe bomber, by the way. That's like the actual, and that, I think they're actually saying that he's some sort of, like autistic or something like that. I think that they're trying to make a claim of, but whatever. Real quick, we got brother Wolfheim coming in with the 27 Swedish crowns, bro. Let's fucking go. Thank you very much for that, kind sir. Yes, sir. That goes a long way.
Did say in this case on the prosecution side that had these devices detonated, they could have injured people. Investigators also found the suspect to have scrubbed his phone over 900 times during this nearly 5-year-long investigation. 1 o'clock this afternoon is when a detention hearing is scheduled in the federal courthouse in D.C., the building just behind me here. That's the very latest. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Stephanie Ramirez live for us, our team at Fox 5 in D.C. Stephanie, take care. We'll check in later about that court appearance.
No, that it's not a white man, John. It's the guy that I just showed you, and obviously he's not a white man.
Taking a look here at just a social media post from our team in D.C. as they follow this story very closely. There you can see some more of those courtroom sketches from that court appearance just yesterday. It says this: the suspect charged in connection with the January 6th pipe bomb investigation due in federal court today. As his attorneys argue, he should be released while the case moves forward. We're going to keep an eye on this developing story and all of those updates. Of course, we'll bring them to you here as the story develops.
And of course, that's what we do here as well. Now, we have one last thing I do want to highlight now, because we were talking a little bit about the weather at the top of the hour here. Heavy snow, places of turnover with a ton of ice, and we're having crashes up there in Detroit on the highways. I mean, multiple handful of dozens of cars. I mean, we're talking like multiple sets of dozens. So probably like 40 fucking cars that collided on the highway because they were just sliding. Anyways, we're moving on.
And welcome in here to Live Now from Fox. We are seeing a lot of snow across the country. Take a look at this live look. This is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This driving shot, we can see all that snow on the ground there. And again, this live look of Syracuse, New York that I shared with you here before the break. We're going to head over there right now. Katie Byrne live there this morning. She is braving the storm. Katie, what are you seeing out there today? We do know that this is record snow for that area.
Yeah, Syracuse, parts of it at least, are buried in over a foot of snow, Christy. And a lot of this came down.
Fuck that. Look at that. Fuck all that shit. That is some bullshit. Fuck that.
Bruh. overnight. We ended up with 11 inches of snow in the span of 5 hours between 2 a.m. and just the overnight hours. But now when you look at some of these piles we've got, they are knee deep alongside the road.
What's up, brother TVT? And yeah, I mean, that shit is knee deep.
Roads here. We've got cars, some of them trying to make their way through. A travel advisory in place that's countywide. Officials warning people that conditions are dangerous out here because of the snow that's still falling and actually is expected to fall for another couple days. So no end in sight just yet for the snow, at least for the lake effect bands that we're covering here. When you look out at the streets, you can tell that plows have made some passes here on the main drags, but then some of the secondary roads have yet to be plowed here. Some sidewalks also still snow covered. So I'm hearing from some people who have been out this morning that it does get slippery and you are kind of hiking over piles and hills of snow as you make your way around. So something to consider for people who are out and about. But of course, the conditions have been rough for west of us. We had a pile up over in Detroit associated with the same storm. Then that storm moved through.
Right, and which we reported, by the way.
Buffalo before it got here, bringing hurricane force wind gusts, and you can actually see that wind blowing some of the snow here on the ground right now. So they had a gust.
That just looks like misery, bro.
Of up to 80 miles per hour. It was a 79 mile per hour wind gust. So hurricane force strength here.
I thought it was cold here in Alabama. Meanwhile, it's sunny day. I mean, it's still cold as fuck today, but, you know, no snow.
Our strongest gusts have been in the 50 mile per hour range, which still very strong. So you have the combination of active snowfall being tough to see through, but then those winds are blowing snow around at times, making for really near whiteout conditions. We've seen it with our own eyes. Just standing out here, sometimes you'll see that snow blows through and you can't really make out much in front of you. Across the street here, you can see in front of a business, there's a gentleman trying to plow the sidewalks there. A lot of the businesses have been out up.
That's right, baby. Roll Tide.
And early, trying to stay on top of this because we are in Syracuse, after all, the snowiest city in the U.S., a place where people are used to getting snow just like this. So they say that.
Yeah, fuck all that noise. All right, listen, that is our hour. I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Obviously, I cannot do this without you guys. Thank you guys for hitting the like button and double tapping the screen on the vertical side. I very much appreciate that. Listen, stick around. We're going to be rating our buddy Rob Knorr. He's a great political commentator. Make sure you guys stick around for that. He's phenomenal. So anyways, make sure you let him know we're coming through with the Mike Ball / Insane Wheels raid. And can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. We'll be back tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. Until then, God bless everyone. Be safe out there. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on to his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar.